I said you like CMOS is combination of PMOS and NMOS. That means complement means if I give input as 1, output should be 0. If I give input as 0, output should be 1. This is the operation that it has to be performed. That's why it is called as complementary. Okay. So it is this circuit should perform complement operation. Okay. That's why it is called as complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Okay. It is a combination of P MOSFET and N MOSFET. Okay. How does the circuit look like? It looks like this. So it will be connected with PMOS and NMOS in series. Okay. So drain and drain are shorted. PMOS drain and NMOS drain are shorted. From there we'll get the output. And PMOS source, PMOS, this is a PMOS. PMOS source is given to VDD and NMOS source is given to ground. And both the gates, that is PMOS gate and NMOS gate, are shorted, and from there we'll give the input. Okay. So this is the construction of CMOS. Now, how does the complement will take place? So let us see that operation of this CMOS. If I give input as 0, okay, if I give input as 0, so the gate of PMOS will be closed and the gate of NMOS will be open. That means the circuit can be replaced with something like this. So instead of this gate will be short circuited for input 0, that is PMOS gate will be short circuited and NMOS gate will be open circuited. Because of this, what happens, whatever VDD is there will come out. What is VDD? It is 5 volts. That means I can represent this 5 volts as 1. So that's why you will get 1 at the output, or something like 5 volts. Why 5 volts? Because the gate is shorted for PMOS, whereas the gate is open for NMOS. So there is no connection for this ground to the output. Only there is connection from VDD to the output, because this gate is shorted. That's why we will get output as 5 volts. 5 volts represents 1. Okay, that is nothing but 1. So 1 is nothing but high. So input is 0, output is 1. That means if input is low, output will be high. That's what it represents. Next, we'll see the other case. Okay, so if I give input as 1, okay, if I give input as 1, what happens? This is for 0. Okay, if I give input as 1, okay, what happens? Let us see. If I give input as 1, the gate of this PMOS will be closed. The gate of NMOS will be open. So because of this, what happens? The ground will be coming out. The ground is nothing but 0. So this will be coming out. So that is 0 volts will be coming out. That's why it is represented as 0. So if I give input as 1, output is 0. If I give input as 0, output is 1. This is how the complement takes place. So this is the operation of CMOS circuit. So next we'll see what is silicon control gate. Where does we use this complementation? In NOT gate, correct? In NOT gate we are going to use that. Okay, in generally the NOT gate will be in IC form. Probably in your third semester you will be dealing with these gates. All the gates you need to do experiments. Probably there you will be seeing what is NOT gate, what is AND gate, OR gate. All those stuffs will be you need to get the output of all those things. So that is nothing but it will be sealed in one IC. This circuit will be sealed in one IC. So there you will get, if you give input as 1, output will be 0. If you give input as 0, output will be 1. Okay, this is nothing but complement operation. Next we will see SCR. This is very important topic. Okay, so if you see SCR, so SCR is nothing but silicon controlled rectifier. Okay, SCR is nothing but silicon controlled rectifier. Okay, silicon controlled rectifier. What is rectifier? So rectifier is nothing but which converts AC to DC, correct? AC to DC, that is nothing but rectifier. What is controlled means the AC to DC, how much it will control the percentage of conversion from AC to DC. That's why it is called as controlled. Okay, the AC to anyhow this device converts AC to DC, but how much amount that AC to DC is converted, that is defined by this control. That's why it is called as controlled. Okay, so if you see the construction of this SCR, okay, if you look at the construction of this SCR, it is a 4-layer device. Can you see here? It is a 4-layer device, that is P N P N. Okay, you should write in this order only. Don't first write N and then P. It should start from P itself. Okay, it is 4-layer device. You can see here, this is P region is one layer, this is one more layer, and this is one more layer, and this is one more layer. That is, it is a 4-layer device. P N P N. You should write in this order only. Okay, now from the last two, that is P and N, anode and cathodes are taken out. Okay, that is from the first P region, anode is taken out. From the last N region, cathode is taken out, and gate is taken out from the P region, which is near to cathode. Okay, this is gate. So it is a 3-terminal device. If you look at the doping concentration, the last 2 layers are heavily doped. That is, this P region, the first P region and the last N region are heavily doped, whereas the middle regions, that is the middle N and P regions, are lightly doped. So with this, what we can identify, so there are 3 junctions, correct? So the junction between this P and this N is junction J1, and the junction between this N and this P is junction J2, and the junction between this P and this N is junction J3. That means it is 3 junction device. Okay, J1, J2 and J3. If you look at the symbol, the symbol looks like this. Okay, so this is the construction of SCR. So we'll see the operation of this SCR. Okay, we will see the operation of this SCR. Now, if you look at the operation, okay, so I said it is a 4-layer device, PN. Okay, it is a 4-layer device, PN. Okay, so SCR, okay, CMOS we have done. SCR, if I look at the operation, SCR operation, I'll go directly because construction we have already seen. Operation, okay, so if I write the circuit, okay, so we have P region, this is P, and then N, then P, and this is N. It should be of equal sizes. So P, N, P, N. Okay, P, N, P, N. Right. So I said you between this P and N, this junction is says J1. The junction between this N and this P is junction J2, and the junction between this P and this N is junction J3. So we have 3 junctions. Okay. Now the gate is taken out from this. Okay. The gate is taken out from this P region, and this is anode, and this is cathode. Okay. K. Cathode is represented by K, anode is represented by A. Okay, so how to explain this working? So if the circuit has to switch on, if I give connections, if I bias this device, if it has to conduct, then always remember J1, okay, comma J2 and J3 should forward bias. All junctions should be forward bias. Then only the device will start conducting. Okay. If any one of this junction is not forward bias, then the device doesn't work. So always remember the current should flow, the electrons should flow from cathode to anode. Then only the circuit will start functioning. Okay. So if you look at there are 3 regions that has to be 3 modes of operation. Okay. The first one is forward blocking mode. Modes of operation. Okay. So in this first one is forward blocking mode. Next one is forward conduction mode, and the third one is reverse blocking mode. Okay, these are the three modes of operation that we need to explain. First, we'll see forward blocking mode. So, for forward blocking mode, say if I connect the SCR, okay, this is PN, okay, anode, cathode. First, I need to bias. That's what I'm doing. So, I'll give this as positive voltage. Okay. So, this is forward biasing. So, forward bias means P type is connected to P type, N type is connected to N type. Okay. So, this becomes this. I'll turn this as VF because it is forward biased. Okay. Or sometimes you can represent it as VAK also. So, okay, VAK because it is connected between anode and cathode. Okay. So that's why this potential or this voltage is termed as VAK. Okay. So and gate is, this is gate. Okay. So upon not applying gate, okay, I'm not applying gate. So first I'll start with forward blocking mode. Okay. So gate is equal to 0 and VAK applied in steps. Okay, that is first. This is for this forward blocking mode. Okay. So what happens because of this VAK? So junction J1. So you have junction J1, J2 and J3. So junction J1 is forward biased. Correct? Agree? Because if I want to look what about junction J1, whether it is forward bias or reverse bias, just neglect these two PN regions. Where does this connection will be connected? It will be connected to here. So if it is connected here, what will be junction J1? It is forward biased, right? What will be junction J2? Just connect this to here, okay, to this here, okay, and this will be to here, okay, here. So what will be junction J2? Junction J2 will be reverse biased, correct? So junction J1 is forward biased, junction J2 because this plus is connected to here and this minus is connected to here. That's why junction J2 will be reverse biased. And what will be junction J3? So this plus is connected here, okay, and this minus is connected here. So junction J3 will be forward biased. For gate is equal to 0 and VAK is positive. Okay. So for this combination, this is the junctions forward bias or reverse bias will be getting. That is J1 is forward bias, junction J2 is reverse bias, and junction J3 is forward bias. So I told you in the beginning that all junctions should be forward biased for the device to turn on. So for this, what happens? Because one of the junction is reverse biased, what happens? A small leakage current will flow in the circuit. So I'll represent that leakage current something like this. Okay. So a small leakage current will, this is VAK, okay, VAK, that is in volts, okay, and this is IF, that is forward current in milliamps. Okay. So for this, what happens? If I increase VAK in steps, a small leakage current will flow. Okay. And if you still keep increasing this VAK value, what happens? At one point, this junction will collapse because of avalanche breakdown. This J2 junction will collapse. At that moment, what happens? A sudden fall of voltage will take place across this device and sudden current will shoot up. Okay, this is for this, that is for Vg is equal to 0. This is this I will represent. This is for Vg Vg, that is gate, is equal to 0. Okay. So next what I'll do, so the region from here to here is called as forward blocking mode. Okay, and the region from here to here is nothing but conduction mode. Okay, so that is case 1. Next I'll move with case 2. Case 2. So case 2 is, okay, forward conduction mode. Okay, forward conduction mode. For that, what I'll do, I'll apply a small positive voltage to the gate. Okay, if I apply a small positive voltage to the gate, what happens? We'll see that. If I apply a small positive voltage to the gate, okay, this is Vg. Okay, so if I apply small positive voltage to the gate, what happens? Now the junction J3, okay, will be forward biased. So for Vg positive and VAK, I am varying in steps. So for this case, if I analyze the junctions, the junction J1 will be forward biased, junction J2 will be also forward biased because of this Vg, and junction J3 will also be forward biased. So all the junctions are forward biased. That's why what happens, the breakdown will happen at a earlier stage. Means earlier for Vg is equal to 0, it has happened set at some volts. Okay, now it will take place at a smaller voltage itself. Means breakdown will happen at smaller voltages. This is for Vg is equal to 1 volt. Next, if I increase Vg furthermore at a smaller voltage itself, breakdown will happen. Okay, current, means SCR will start conducting. Means SCR will start triggering. It is called as triggering point. Okay, for Vg is equal to 0, means gate voltage is equal to 0, the SCR will trigger at a more VAK value. Okay, if I increase Vg in steps, say for example for 1 volt, the triggering will happen at a lesser VAK value. If I increase further, that is 2 volts, the triggering will again decrease for a lesser VAK value. So it goes on. Means as you increase the gate voltage, the triggering also happens at a lesser VAK value. So this is the operation of this SCR. And if you see the reverse blocking mode, that is the third one, reverse blocking mode, that is if I apply, okay, if I apply negative voltage, if I apply negative voltage here, okay, without giving any voltage here, that means Vg is equal to 0 and VAK is negative. VAK is negative, increasing, applied in steps. This is here VAK is positive, applied in steps, whereas here VAK is negative, applied in steps. That means I am applying, okay, this is 0, okay, Vg is 0 and VAK will be negative, so this will be minus plus, okay, and this will be 0. Okay, so for this what happens, so junction J1 will be reverse biased, junction J2 will be forward biased, and junction J3 will be reverse biased. Correct? If you see, because of this what happens, the junction J1 will be reverse biased. Correct? Because negative is connected to P type semiconductor and positive is connected to N type semiconductor. That's why junction J1 will be reverse biased. Similarly, if I analyze for J2, so J2 will be forward bias and J3 will be reverse bias. So because of this, what happens? Two junctions are reverse biased. So for this mode of operation, you will get a negative current. Okay, you will get a negative current, something like this, and so you have a negative current which is very small. Because of this, two junctions are reverse biased. This is called reverse blocking mode. Okay, this from here to here it is reverse blocking mode. Okay, and from here to here it is forward blocking mode, and this is conduction mode. Okay, from you can write here. Okay, this is conduction mode. Okay, three reasons you can explain. This is all about operation of SCR. Right. So next we'll see two transistor model of SCR. Okay, because generally this question will be asked very frequently, the two transistor model of SCR. Okay, next topic is two transistor model of SCR. Okay, so if you see the structure, okay, of SCR, it is P, there is a P and there is a N and there is a P and N, correct? So now what I'll do is, okay, let it be as it is. Okay, can I represent this circuit something like this? Okay, can I represent this something like this? It is one and the same. P, these two regions are nothing but N, and these two regions are nothing but, and this is N. Okay, P N and P N. Okay, now if you see P N P N P N, correct? I'll just represent one more circuit for this. Okay, so if you see, yes. So if you see the circuit, can I represent this circuit as like this? So I'll just draw the P, N, and this is N, this is P, and this is P, and this is N. So I mean to say this N and this N are connected, and this P and this P are connected. Okay. So I'll take out the gate from this region, and this is anode, and this is cathode. Similarly here also anode, cathode, and gate. That's what we have connected, correct? Cathode anode, gate and anode. Okay, so I can represent this something like this. That means, so what is transistor? Actually, we have not done with the transistor part so far, but a transistor is a bipolar device which has three terminals. Okay, and it is having three layers. That is, it is of two types: NPN transistor and PNP transistor. Okay, transistor is of two types. Okay, so this transistor is of two types, NPN and PNP. Okay, and it is a three layer. You can notice here, NPN is a three layer. This is also PNP is a three layer. It is a three layer device and three terminal device. Which are those terminals? The terminals are collector, base and emitter. Okay, collector, base and emitter. These are the three terminals that will be available in transistor. Okay, so if you look at this, okay, I can represent this as something just follow this circuit which I am writing down. Okay, which I am writing down. Now if you see the p-type semiconductor, base is connected to collector of n-type semiconductor, n-type transistor, means p-type base, that is p-type, I mean PNP transistor base. So this is base. Okay, and probably if it is clear in this CMOS, we'll see here whether how far how it is. Yes, you can see here. See, the base of PNP transistor, this is PNP transistor, which is this, and this is NPN transistor, which is this. That is, this is N, you have an N, and this is collector. Okay, so I'll write here collector, base and emitter. Okay, sorry. Okay, right. So this is, if you observe this, so this is base, this is not base, this is collector. Okay, this is collector, this is base and this is emitter. Similarly, if you come this side, for PNP transistor, this is emitter. Okay, this is base and this is collector. Okay, that means it is connected back to back. Back to back means, if you see here, it is emitter base collector, but here it is collector base emitter. That's why it is connected back to back. Now, if you just observe this properly, okay, the base of PNP transistor. So this is the base. The base of PNP transistor is connected to collector. Can you notice here? The base of PNP transistor. This is PNP transistor. Okay, PNP transistor, and this is NPN transistor. The base of PNP transistor, so this is the base of PNP transistor, is connected to collector of NPN transistor. So the base of PNP transistor is connected to collector of NPN transistor. Similarly, the collector of PNP transistor, okay, if you see here, this is the collector. Okay, so the collector of PNP transistor is connected to base of the NPN transistor. So this is the base of the NPN transistor. Okay, so it is connected, and the gate is as usual. So this is the gate, and this is the collector, and this is the anode. Okay, this is the cathode. Okay, this is K, not C. Okay, K, A and G as it is. So this is the representation of this. Understood? This is the two transistor model of SCR. Now, how does it work? Let us see. Now, if you apply gate as 0, if you apply gate as 0, I'll write here itself. Okay. If I find some space, I'll just explain here itself. Yes. Okay. See here. If gate is 0, case 1, first one. If gate is 0, if gate is 0, what happens? There won't be any base current into the NPN transistor. That's why IB 2, I'll take this I2 because NPN transistor I'm terming it transistor 2, and PNP transistor they are represented as transistor 1. That's why because it is 2 second transistor, that's why here IB2. Okay, IB2 will be 0 because gate is 0. So if IB2 is 0, means if base current is 0, obviously the current will be in switch off, means it won't conduct. If gate is 0, obviously transistor won't conduct because transistor doesn't current. There won't be any output current. Output means it is at the collector. Okay, that means IC2 will be 0. If IC2 is 0, means this will be 0. Okay, if gate is 0, this will be 0. IB2 is 0, and if IB2 is 0, IC2 will be 0. If IC2 is 0, obviously IB1 will be 0. If IB1 is 0, that means gate transistor 1, that is PNP transistor base is 0. If base current is 0, obviously this transistor will be turned off. If it is turned off, then what happens to IC1? This also will be 0. Okay, IC1 also will be 0. Means collector current of transistor 1 also will be 0. So that means all transistor, this transistor is in off and this transistor is also in off. That's what it is. So IC2 is 0, and then because IC2 is nothing but IB2, IB1, which is 0. If IB1 is 0, transistor 1 is equal to off. If transistor 1 is off, IC1 is equal to 0. So somewhere here also you can represent this is transistor T2 is equal to off. Okay, this is for gate is equal to 0. Next, I'll give gate is equal to on or 5 volts. Okay, if I give that, what happens? We'll see that. So if gate is on, what happens? IB1 will be on. Okay, it is having some voltage. If IB1 is having some voltage or current, what happens? Gate of NPN transistor will be on. If this is on, what happens? There will be collector current. Okay, if there is collector current, the same collector current is equal to IB2. Okay, that means if gate is on, IB1 is there. If IB2 is there. If IB2 is there, what happens? Transistor is on. If transistor is on, what happens? IC2 is present. If IC2 is present, obviously IB1 will be present. If IB1 is present, so transistor 1 will be on. If this is on, there will be IC1 also. Okay, that's why I can tell here as, okay, so if gate is on, IB2 is equal to 1. Okay, which means T2 will be on. If T2 is on, IC2 is equal to on. If IC2 is on, IB1 will be on. If IB1 is on, transistor 1 will be on. If transistor 1 is on, IC1 also will be on. Okay, this is what the explanation of this 2 transistor model of SCR. Okay, so with this we have completed SCR and CMOS for today's class. In next class, probably if I get time, I have to cover 2 more topics for your second internal. Okay, if you have any doubts, you stay back, and